Welcome back to the Mindful Presenter Truth Series. Truth 44. Stop blaming company policy. Please stop blaming company policy. That sounds strange, I realize that, but it's not as strange or as isolated as you may think. We see it a lot at Mindful Presenter. I can give you many examples. Here's just one. I was coaching on a one-to-one basis the senior executive. It was a financial director of a very significant brand not so long ago. This chap was presenting or planning to present to 120 people within his business, and he wanted some help because it was an important presentation. During his presentation that he made to me that I was going to be coaching on, I sensed that intuitively there was something wrong. And I asked him this really important question, which I often ask. I said to him, how much of what you've just shared with me now will be directly relevant to your audience, to those 120 people that you'll be speaking to very soon? You know what he said? He said a third of the audience would not be remotely interested in anything he had to say in this presentation. A third. Can you imagine that? 40 people. So I was clearly stumped by that, as you may imagine. So I said to him, well, why? Why would you do that? Why would you call an additional 40 people into a room to listen to you speak about something that they have no interest in? You know what he said? He said, it's because I have to. I said, you have to? What do you mean you have to? You're the FD of this big brand. I said, why do you have to? He said, it's company policy. I said, it's company policy to drag 120 human beings into a room, 40 of whom do not really need to be there or should be there because this is of no interest to them. Therefore, it's just going to go way over their heads. It's company policy to inflict that pain on your staff? He said, yes. How can we blame it? That's not isolated. I hear this a lot. The fact is, we have to make sure that our content, our message is relevant to our audience. We can't just say, we have to share this, it's company policy. Who's to say that they're going to take it all in or listen to it or remember it in the first place anyway? If it's critical, if there's some kind of legal obligation to give people this information, I can understand and respect that, but not in a presentation. Send them a document. Make them read it in the comfort of their own time and mind and get a signature to prove that they've read it. Because why would you say 6 months or 6 years later, well, I told them, they weren't listening to you. It happens a lot. Please don't do that. It happens a lot in HR, human resources. I work with a lot of human resources professionals, very gifted, talented, responsible people. But often one of the first things they say to me is, they say, Maurice, I'm afraid you'll find this presentation really boring because it's our induction presentation and it's just boring. I said, well, you have knowingly brought a presentation that is boring to the table that you're going to inflict on fellow human beings. How can you do that? And when we look at it in detail, the reason is because they're just sharing information and principles that the company wants or even says they need their employees to know. But they don't necessarily need to know it in their own mind, and they certainly won't remember it. Whatever happens, we have to think far more mindfully about our content. We're inflicting too much pain on people by getting mixes of people into a room or an online presentation where they shouldn't necessarily be there. And it's to a degree mindless and to a degree lazy, because what we should do, if we can, is to create separate presentations. So if you've got 40 or 50 or 20 people, whatever the number is on a presentation, but you know for sure that some of them won't be interested in your content because it's not relevant to them, don't do it. Ask them to stay out of this one, or give them a separate presentation where the content will be relevant to them. But please, whatever you do, do not blame your bad presentation on company policy. Make sure it's relevant and give your audience what they need, not what you want to give them. They're two different things. Thank you.